No. Alright, that'll work. That'll be good lighting for our video. I have no idea what type of tea this is, but it smells like spring apple blossoms, and I'm not kidding. Okay. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to our boy Garrett Reinders. He is turning 20, gotta be 7, 8, 4, 30, 5. Okay. He's turning 47 today. Happy birthday from me, from the FGOC. So happy birthday, Garrett. Okay, so this is supposed to be an in the bag video. So I'm going to start out with my bag. And we're going to find out what's inside of it. This is a Dynamic Discs Trooper bag. It used to be Micah's, was it? I don't know whose it used to be. Ian and Micah are always upgrading to the next latest, greatest thing. I don't do that because I remember the days when we used to walk around with carrying our discs in one hand at Mount Simon Disc Golf Course in Eau Claire. Apparently we are too good for that. I don't know if I am, so let's just say that it's pretty good that I got this bag here to work with. Starting off in the putter, hang on a minute. Okay. Now I gotta scrunch way down. Okay, so big surprise. Putting putters have not changed. Wardens, that is what I use. They go really good. I was even looking at putters. Oh wait, I gotta put it up. Okay, you gotta set them somewhere cool. Put a cup somewhere else here. I was looking at, okay, so Wardens. I love Wardens. I know I love Wardens because I went to a disc golf shop once and I was looking at putters and I was like, okay. I grabbed one, looked good. I felt it. I felt a couple probably, and I felt one, the one that I grabbed, and it just felt amazing. And I was just like, okay. Didn't have like a whatever. I couldn't tell what it was by just looking at it until I couldn't tell what it was by just looking at it because it didn't have a stamp with the name on it or something. And then I found out that it was a Warden. So I'm sticking with the Warden. So, needless to say, I stick with Wardens because they're just the best putter in the world. This is going horribly. Sticking with Wardens because they just feel the best out of every single other putter I've ever held. That's probably never going to change ever in my bag. Also, in this flap up here, you can see there's something else in there. Ta-da! It It is a super light 150 grams rat. This is probably my farthest throwing putter. Yes, I know I used to think this was a mid-range. I'm going to call it a throwing putter now because it's a 4-speed, and I was watching a A-tier tournament today where Luke Humphreys called a 4-speed disc a putter. You could make the argument technically that they are like a hybrid disc. I just call it a throwing putter. I wouldn't putt with this, but it's a throwing low speed disc, so it's a throwing putter. Okay, so that's the flap that's up here. We're gonna move on to the bottom flap. The cheeky little crackers over here are Briano Rosso Pesto. Really quite a explosion of flavor. And over here in the corner, sitting dejected, sad, and floppy is a single slice of American cheese, which is dripping a little bit. But we're going to eat it because I'm American. We eat cheese that isn't really cheese. I absolutely love different cultures. It's like exploring a whole new world when you enter a different culture. Dobry den wam przei. Feliz Navidad. Dobra. Le modi Israel.
Kohai, sano.
Was machst? Ieder geen is gewennet. Dom agus time mo gan nis na stand en de he agus laurim gwelge 8-0 gemamart. Hvor gammel er du? So your ineptitude is disadvantageous, and I propound you all to vamoose with great importunity. Like, come on, like, dude, like, what? Why? So, like, what? Whatever. FYI, BTW, LOL. There's just so much color and flavor and things like that. Revived and ready to continue. Farthest throwing, so I use the rat for tunnel shots where I need a little bit of a flex. If I want to get a good amount of distance with a low speed disc, I'll use the rat. Cut! Moving on to the bottom part of the bag here. Alright, you can't see it again. I gotta put the camera back. Okay, this is really starting to... Wait a minute now. So we're just going to put that there. We're going to switch this over like this. Come on. Okay. Maybe I'm just going to ditch the chair here and be like, okay, that's so much better. So I got my bag totally stocked here, but my supplemental discs are backups for if I lose a disc. Oftentimes I will have replacements to just replace the disc that I lost, or some of them are different. So like if I'm going to a course where I'm like, I think I'm going to need to have a slightly different mid-range for this course, I got some other supplement discs in here that I can switch it out with. But we'll get into that as we continue on. So we got, this is probably my favorite disc. This disc, I've had it for so long, it was in my bag last year. This is a Champ Rhino Super Be-In, and I love it for approaches, and oftentimes if it's like a really short hole and I need something really controllable, I will throw the Rhino. Cut. Whoa, sorry. Going along with that, I have a newer, a little bit firmer, heavier, less beat-in Champ Rhino that is slightly more overstable, just to complement the old Be-In Rhino, which flies relatively straight with a slight stable finish at the end. After that, I got a overstable throwing putter, which is a Harp VIP plastic. I will use this for approaches, just anything that I will use for a low speed overstable disc where I need to have that type of flight characteristics in the shot. Recently, I have found two ESP zones that Ian used to use, but he doesn't anymore. And this is said disc. And I just really love how flat it is. It's got a slightly thinner profile than the Harp. It is a little bit harder, and it's overstable, obviously, very comparable to the Harp, but still different. I really like to use this for a tee-off overstable throwing putter. So the difference between having this and this is I will predominantly use the Harp for approach shots. So like say it's a par 4 and I want to get up and down for the birdie. I will throw the Harp, but when I'm teeing off and I need something low speed, overstable, whatever, I will go with the Harp. Just because I love, did I say Harp? I said Harp. Zone. I will use it basically to tee off with instead of the Harp. My replacement zone in the sup pile. Okay, so that's my putters. Okay, whoops, oh, forgot my hat. Moving on to mid-ranges, we have and my bag is so organized that I have my understable versions coming first and then ending with the overstable versions. So going into mid-ranges, it is my most understable mid-range, which is the 500 plastic M4. This is pretty stable. It's not like it's understable, but it's a neutral disc. I tend to think that the way I throw it, I found it tends to be slightly understable for me, but I will use that. The counterpart of the M4 in my supplemental discs pile is a slightly more reliably understable mid-range, which is the Evidence, the Fusion Evidence. But I don't have this in my bag right now, just because, I don't know, I'm waiting for a course that, if we're going to a course where I think I need a slightly more reliably understable mid-range, I'll go with the Evidence and switch out the M4. Okay, and now moving on to the more neutral to stable mid-range in my bag, it's going to be the Malta. Okay, I love the Malta. I like to throw it on a slightly hyzered, and it's really controllable. I like to throw hyzers better. That's my shot type of choice. So yeah, the Malta is just great because it's super controllable. I think people tend to get hung up on buzzes, but yeah, I've never thrown a buzz, so I can't diss it. I probably would love it if I threw it, but I don't know, I can't get past the Malta. So we got the Malta. The counterpart of the Malta in my, is going to be the Star Lion. Very, very similar, but I feel like Lion is slightly less slightly less overstable. So yeah, depends on the course I go to. I might switch this out for a little bit more of a straight shot if I'm feeling like I want that. Okay. And moving on to the overstable mid-range, we got the best overstable mid-range in the world, Axiom's Pyro. A lot of people don't like MVP or Axiom, whatever discs. It throws great. I'm not prejudiced with the discs. Unless they're named something horrible, then I don't want to touch it. Okay, so that's overstable mid-range. And I also have a 5-speed mid-range utility disc that is a beast of a disc, the Mutant. It looks like a cut gem. It is so stylish, sleek, trim. The angles on it are just quite dynamic. Okay. Anyways, utility disc. If it's super windy, you can trust a disc like this. This is your secret weapon for the wind. Okay? So, moving on. Now, for a while recently, when I was building my bag here, I had a massive gap between the 5-speed and 9-speed. I had nothing in between. So I needed a fairway driver, and Micah gave me a disc that he isn't using anymore. And it happens to be the F1. And I know the numbers say 7403, and you think it'd be overstable based on that, but it has a understability to it, which I can only compare to a Eagle, kind of a little flexy, which is what I want. But yeah, it's got that reliable overstability to it in the finish. So I'm excited to take it out and throw it. It's a 7-speed, it's going to fill the gap nicely. I do like to throw a lot of hyzers, so yeah, I'm really curious to see if this will work for me. Otherwise, I am going to buy a TL, a Champion TL. If this fails me, then I'm going to get the TL. The next disc is the Titanium Swirl Vulture. And it's a little bit firmer, but I really, really like it. It used to be super just like straight, stable, flying fairway. But it comes after the F1 because it's a 9-speed, but it's a slightly more understable 9-speed. Yeah, because it's beat in, and it kind of has a nice little flip to it now that I can count on every time I throw it. So it's a great supplement. It is a good balance for the more stable ESP Raptor, which is a 9-speed as well, 9403. This you would think is pretty overstable, but actually, from what I'm told, this particular disc happens to be more straight, flying, whatever. Straight, goes in a straight line. But yeah, so you got your understable 9-speed, your stable 9-speed, and I have a very overstable 9-speed. Just look at this. Have you guys seen a better looking disc? It's going to be hard to find. I mean, when the plastic just is complemented by the stamp, the lion stamp. I mean, look at the plastic. It's like swirls on it. And the lion is very well done. Yeah, this is a overstable 9-speed. I have thrown this disc before and I added it to my bag because I just love the flight. I replaced a Champ Firebird with this disc as of 2023 just because it feels better, the grip. So I love everything about it, but the grip is, in my opinion, better than the Firebird that I used before, and I just love the grip. So why would I not have this? Ouch. Moving up to a 11-speed disc. It's going to be the Grace, a Orbit Grace. Really cheeky picture on there of a fox or a wolf. I don't really know what it is, some kind of canine, maybe it's a poodle, I have no idea. But it's a Grace. This thing is basically, you could compare it to a Wraith from Innova, only it's way better. It would beat up a Wraith and probably bite it. So I've thrown it, and the proof is in the pudding. Grace. Very similar to a Wraith, only it's better. Just that being said, we're going to move on. Okay, moving up to higher speed discs, we have a very old, beat-in, understable Glow Destroyer, which I have gotten this disc farther than any other disc I've ever thrown. This holds the record for me of most distance, so that's why it's in my bag. Hope I never lose this because, yeah, like I said, it's just a really good flex distance shot disc. After that, we got a Star Destroyer. That is just a standard Star Destroyer. This one flies, I mean, it's sort of beat-in, really predictable. Because I don't want to throw a disc that is going to be non-predicted in its flight. That doesn't usually go well. If you don't know what your disc is going to do, you probably shouldn't throw it. But yeah, I have another Star Destroyer that is brand new to supplement it with in my supplemental disc pile back here. So if I lose something, I got a backup. Really important for people like me that tend to lose discs. And after the Destroyers comes a beat-in VIP Queen from Westside. This thing is very flippy. I will use it for shots that I need a really, like rollers. I would use it for rollers. No, actually I wouldn't use it for rollers. Okay, I don't know. If I ever needed to have a disc that was really understable with, distance or whatever, I guess I would go with the Queen because it's in my bag. Last but not least, rounding out the bag, we got a overstable distance driver, which I believe is a 13 speed, the D1. Love the plastic, love the feel of the disc. This thing is absolutely reliable, it's overstable, it feels incredible, it will take you places. So I'll use this disc for overstable shots that are longer. Yeah, that does it.
Over here in my supplemental disc pile, I got a replacement VIP Harp, I got a replacement ESP Zone, I got a supplement
Mid-range, which is more understable.
I got a supplement Lion, Bad Boy Lion here for supplementing out with the Malta.
I got a supplemental. Oops. I gave this to Ian. I don't know. This isn't supposed to be in here. Is somebody coming downstairs? Hello? Who's there? Who's there? So yeah, that's my 2023 in the bag.